Oh, where the hell do I start? Fresh off the construction site, Alice.
Yeah.
A lot of work today. More work to do, but a lot of work done today. I got to tell you.
Actually, a lot of the worst part done, I kind
of
of feel.
Totally. The suck part is totally done. What was your biggest takeaway from today? By the way, if you guys don't know, we're fixing the undercarriage of the roof.
Yeah, the internal water damage to the house. Now that we know that there is no more water entering the house, thanks to our friends at Eagle Rivet, we are now repairing the inside of our house.
There's a big hole. You can see it on Twitter. There's a big hole there. And so what we did today is we ripped down a lot of the old and damaged particle
wallboard or drywall.
Drywall. Yeah. And
gypsum board.
Yep. And then some of the lead wall. And then...
Well, yeah. And for those of you worried about lead, because I know many of you are concerned or some of you find it amusing, or this house has been so inspected for lead, like every inch of it has been inspected for lead. So if there are places where lead was like encased and left alone because it was not like falling off the wall or whatever during the de-leading, it was, enclosed. If there are places where there is still any lead in the house, we are well aware of it and are either working around that and not touching it entirely, or are, being extremely careful of removing any pieces and keeping them wet and everything else. So
the whole premise of the Shattuck existence is built upon the fact that we are imprisoned in this 300-year-old house because of lead remediation. That is the premise.
We know, we are well aware of anywhere where there might be a stray piece of lead in the house. We know about it.
So what is your big takeaway from today?
Big takeaway from today. I don't know.
Let me go for you.
Demolition always takes longer than you expect it to.
Let me go for you.
Okay, what was your big takeaway?
Oh, that's going to be one hell of an illegal dump, by the way. You want me to make that disappear, I assume, right?
Well, I mean, some of it can
plausible
probably fit
deniability.
in
You don't
want
to know. You don't want to know. Okay, I get you.
You can take it to the Georgetown transfer station.
Yeah, message received, Alice. This is why women have no honor. Yep, there you go. She has.
If it were me, I would take it to the Georgetown transfer station.
Okay, I'll let you take it there.
I can do that if you'd like me to.
So the big takeaway is that Owens Corning fiberglass or whatever the stuff we were using, what's that stuff called?
The fiberglass insulation, yeah.
Is fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
It's so fantastic. It's strong but pliable. I mean, we ran it through those rafters. It's fantastic.
Yeah, it's exactly the size to go between the joists and fit in perfectly, and you just unroll it and stick it in there, and it's great.
Keep talking. Okay, there you go. And it's also... I had
we
no idea.
Replaced all the fiberglass that was all black and moldy looking and disgusting because it was all wet. And
another thing is that in the fiberglass, it instantly blotted out the sound from outside, and instantly you could feel heat remaining in the room.
Mm-hmm.
It's amazing. Man, that stuff is good. I should have gone to trade school. What freedom was I think? What I should have done probably, to be honest with you, Alice.
Mm-hmm.
We talked about my my class rank, that like I was like second to last, and those two guys, like one went to jail and one like OD'd and died. So I got out dead last in 91. And I wasn't dead last because I was most stupid. I was dead last because I had no interest in school. I hated it.
Well, yeah, this all came up because our kids were asking me, because I mentioned about class rank and they didn't know what it was. And so I said they would put everybody in order of how good their grades were in the whole school. And you would have the valedictorian would usually be first in the class, and then you would have everybody else, and you knew what you were. And the kids immediately went, oh my gosh, that's because they've been raised in an egalitarian modern society. They were like, oh, that would be terrible. Imagine if you were last or near the bottom and you knew, and everybody knew that you were the last in the class. And it's like, yes, you, as a matter of fact, live with somebody who was last in his class.
And it was actually kind of chilling. I remember the moment I opened the mail, and my friend Keith was with me, and I saw it, and I saw the class rank, and I showed him, and he said, "Dude, that's not good." in a way, like a serious way, like not like we usually talked. But it wasn't good. But I just never showed up. I was absent like every third day. I had no. But my point is this: rather than like forced me to go to school so that I had a rift with my parents because I was not interested, and cause this other stuff, other strife, etc. If I had just been allowed at 15 years old just to go, like leave, get a job, then I probably would have accrued some skills somewhere, and I would have been all for it.
Because you would have seen the point in what you were doing.
Yeah, I would have been doing something that
you were a person, and you're still like this, where you don't do anything if you don't see why you're doing it.
Well,
if you don't see a reason to be doing something, you don't.
Well, I don't see a reason to be confined, for no reason.
But you also don't see a reason to wait at red lights sometimes.
Oh no, absolutely. I see no reason. Why would you follow traffic instructions unless there's a cop nearby? There's no reason to. Of course you go through red lights and through stop signs. And the people who have a problem with that are a bad kind of people. When we used the Melrose, I used to blast through this Mystic Valley, Lynn Fells Parkway was terrible. So I used to blast through this red light always. And the person on the other side of the light sometimes would beep at me, "What the hell?"
And you weren't cutting them off.
No, it had nothing to do with them. It's just, you don't know the natural order of things. You're ruining it. No, stop it. Why do you think just because that's the law, because that's it? Don't you have any self-respect for the limited time you have on Earth? Really? It's incredible to me. I can't believe it. And, sometimes I do other things. Like the other day, we were behind this woman who, of course, had LGBTQI plus ampersand stickers and all sorts of stickers. And we're on the main road. And this is a good moment, she decides to let somebody in who's in a cross street and left. Oh, she slows down to let somebody in. I hit the gas and go on the right-hand side. So the person who's being let in, he knew. He saw the danger. He saw, no, that guy behind her is going. So I then I drove forward and I did my thing. And, because you have to have respect for your time and things. Being in high school for me was... Especially since I was like...
For you, it was waiting at a red light. You didn't know why you were there or why you were being made to do this, and you were not pleased about it.
No, I didn't. I thought that my classmates were, by and large, very stupid. I thought the caste system, all the gorgeous, sweet, lovely girls were dating all the meatheads who, wrote about them being sluts in the bathroom walls. I don't want to be any more part of this. This prison sucks. There was no justice in the prison. I didn't like it. So I wasn't really ever bullied or anything. I got along with people. I had no close friends at the school, really. But there was no reason. I should have not been in school. And I think a lot of people should not be in school. It's just not for some people. It was not... And I don't...
No, most people do it for the same reason why they sit at stoplights when nobody's coming. Is because it's the thing that you're supposed to do. And so they just do it.
Yeah. And also, I had no doubt that I was on the much smarter than the average person side of things. Or at least I had thoroughly deluded myself into thinking that. Either way, I was not insecure in many rooms, thinking, wow, these people are all much smarter than me. I certainly knew that I was getting creamed in the SATs, which took me 23 minutes to finish. And I was happy to be out there. And
you didn't try and do some other questions?
As soon as it got hard, I just went, bye. That's why I didn't like it. I got a 9.10 the first time and then an 8.50 the second time. I did worse. And I had no time for the math. I wrote my name. And this is not about me being special, but it's just that it's about, and I think there's plenty of people look back and say, why was I, it has to do with, had I been out at 15, rather than spending 3 more years in the penitentiary, then I probably would have learned something. I noticed you today when we were doing the construction work, you're looking at all the cross beams or whatever you call them, joists. I don't think it has a T, to be honest, but fine, whatever. And I could tell, and it reminded me of when I used to do HTML and made intricate tables for a living, as intricate as you can do for websites, etc. is that at first I was like, I sucked at tables. I sucked at to doing them, and they would always collapse on me, and I sucked. But yeah, I really worked on it, and then suddenly I could see, and it all made sense.
Mm-hmm.
So what I could see, the potential, etc. Once you get adept at something, then you can see it. And I could tell today that you could see the ceiling finished. You knew how, and you were seeing thoughts that I had no. I still can't. I can't know.
Well, or even like the recessed lighting. You got to a recessed light and you just pulled the board and everything kind of
Right.
came down on you.
Right.
And it worked out, but
had
I like know what a recessed light looks like inside and
Right.
know how to pull it out
you've
of
got,
there.
You've got all of that downloaded. I don't have any of it downloaded. And I wish I had. I don't have like many hand skills downloaded other than fence posts. Fence posts.
Well, that's just from doing them, though.
Right.
You didn't have it downloaded when you first started trying to do them.
That's true. That's true. But also it's also very imposing and things like that. It's just like to have, and like HTML, which like HTML 4.0, I was really good at one point. Nobody has any use for that anymore. There's no reason. That was 20.
I mean, tables haven't changed that much.
Yeah, this 22 years ago essentially. But other than that, cursory song composition that I've done since I've written some of my own songs and kind of getting to see how things come together to make something. But I don't use that anymore either. So, I don't do anything with, other than some cooking. Some cooking stuff now I finally see. I see how to manipulate a steak, how to pick a good steak, manipulate a steak to be delicious. I see foods to make them delicious, to make them more comforty for my family, etc. And so that I got a grasp on. But then that also took a long time as well. But everybody should have. Imagine I was good inside, like my friend like Jay or Keith. Like imagine I could do to a house what those guys can do. It would be amazing. It would be amazing to have any of those skills. It would be amazing. I almost got a job. It was all set up for me to get paid under the table in the 90s, working for this guy from Ireland as a cabinet installer. And I was like intimidated by it, and I didn't think, like, I don't know what to do. The guy's gonna think I'm a pussy anyway, and whatever, which I was. And so I didn't do it. But had I done it, then I would have I could see all the potential. That's where this goes. Because once you learn to do something like that. But I think it's not just us looking at our roof, but I think that we really have to get way the hell out of the box on this stuff, on just doing the standard thing for the standard thing's sake. Sending kids to four-year colleges. Why? So they can learn to love Hamas? What's the reason? Unless there's a reason. My daughter seems to have a thing for engineering stuff. Okay, that's a reason. Okay? She also takes well, and I think this is a more girl thing, but maybe I'm biased, but I think girls take instruction better. I think girls want to please teachers more. And generally, I'm talking about Americans, I think guys are more cocksure, but needlessly so.
Well, college enrollment has dropped in this country quite a bit, and like 70% of the drop is coming from boys.
Yeah.
It's
I think that's good.
It's
I think that's
fewer boys who are going to college, which, yes,
as long as they're
agree
not doing it to play video games in a way that's not monetized. As long as they're not doing it just to get high and sit around, because that's also not good. And I did plenty of that too. Seriously, really, just my retirement was 1991 to 2002. Really, but yeah, I don't see why de facto would we send our kid to 4-year school.
And like when I hear people's majors, I think the same thing. Like when people tell me that they're studying, like, for example, hospitality. People who go and get hospitality degrees.
Nope.
Or like all the people who get broadcasting degrees and stuff like that.
Yes.
Like these media degrees and stuff.
Unnecessary.
Oh, PR communications. It's literally just talking to people.
Well, at least for a hotel management or hospitality degree is unnecessary. You can get entry-level positions immediately and start learning everything you need to know. In every hotel that I've ever worked at has always had a training program. They're always looking for people to to hit housekeeping, and then to hit receiving, and then to hit food and beverage, to hit banquets, to hit the front office, to hit guest services. They're always looking for stuff to get people on that track if you're interested. But for broadcasting, for radio or broadcasting, no. Although
almost anything except very specific fields, you are better off actually doing the field than studying about doing it in a school.
I mean, there is a value to an internship because it allows decision makers to see you in action. It allows you to put you in a position to be helpful, as long as you don't sign a letter pro Hamas, saying that you want the administration to change. But there's value to that. Other than that, I see less and less of it. As a matter of fact, more than ever now, a lot of these academics, professors, presidents of colleges, and some of this has to do with age or maybe a tiny bit of wisdom, whatever. Some of these people are midwits.
Oh, a lot of them.
Yeah. These are highly credentialed people, but these people are midwits. I've had big jobs with big titles where I didn't know what I was doing, and I wasn't the only one. There's a lot of people out there getting good gigs now who don't know what they're doing.
Well, and it extends all the way up to like even what are considered like elite colleges and stuff. I mean, I went to Tufts, and at Tufts, an enormous proportion of the students took like the remedial writing class when they got there.
Amazing.
That was like how to write a 5-paragraph essay.
Amazing.
It was kind of astonishing. And I just think there are so many people in college that do not need to be there.
Totally. And what a waste. And then you have your debt forgiven. You're paying a lot of money for this. It's abuse.
And I don't mean to blame the people necessarily either, because in a lot of cases, they're once again just like doing what they're told to do and what their parents say is the thing to do, and their teachers and their guidance counselors. And everybody's saying like, you should be on this track, you should be doing this. But it's very odd, and it's also a huge anomaly globally. Right? Like whenever we talk about the student loan thing, I bring this up because people from like European countries, say, are always scandalized by our student debt and whatever, because their college, generally speaking, is like highly subsidized, often free. Oftentimes you get a stipend to live on in a lot of European countries, depending. But you test into those fields that you're going into very early on. Usually you go to a high school specifically for them. You're testing into being in that field when you're like 14, and they don't bother. They do not take Tom Shattuck and put him in calculus class in French high schools.
That said,
they
Alice,
don't.
right.
I mean, like, so our way of doing it in the United States is in some ways a lot more like opportunity for all. Is we kind of have the philosophy like anybody who wants to be in calculus class can be there. And we have this concept, and this is a Republican came up with this, the No Child Left Behind thing. And, all this standardized testing where we rank schools on the basis of like, are you getting all the students up to this specific level, the MCAS level or whatever it is. And the truth is that if your standardized tests in your school curriculum is going to be based on getting all the students to a certain level, that's by necessity not going to be a terribly high level.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And that's the problem. I mean, like, it just is. So you are doing some of the kids who don't belong there in the calculus class a disservice. And you are, because generally most American high schools, they get everyone pretty much up to like pre-calculus at least. And that's like what the MCAS is. It's, taking you through like algebra 1 and 2 pretty much. It's pretty rigorous stuff for somebody who's like not a math person.
Well, let me ask you, let me play devil's advocate with you for a second. What if you get the best degree you can to do something you don't love, but that's going to pay you a lot of money? Which to me, I would never do. I mean, I even if I could go to Penn and then get into finance, I still wouldn't do it. I'm not made of that. Those people work hard in whatever, but what if college is not about chasing a dream? It's simply about going out the other end with a bigger paycheck.
Well, right. And I think that I think that attitude about it is problematic too, because that's not like really what college is for, right? And it shouldn't necessarily be what college is for. It does a disservice to other things that are, like foundational to Western civilization, like philosophy or classics or foreign languages. I mean, those things do not get you more money in your life, really.
Right.
So but college should be something, I mean, academic college at least should be something different from a jobs program. Right?
Yeah.
There should be jobs programs for people that want them. There should be trade schools and technical schools and things. And certainly a lot of people who are very academic also make a lot of money, but it's not because they're academic. I mean, it's because they're probably like high IQ to start with, right?
Yes, I would say so.
I mean, like Elon Musk isn't. Sure, he had a great education and everything, but that's not why he's Elon Musk.
No, he's got a personality type.
He's got other stuff going
industry
on.
Personality type, this unchecked ego,
and you can't
audacity.
make a jobs program to make Elon Musk's.
Right. Yeah.
You just can't do it. It's an innate thing. So, I mean, I think college is trying to be a lot of things to a lot of people right now. I mean, look at how we treat college sports. No country on earth has that.
Well, it's because these are huge businesses.
Well, right. But why do we pretend that the college athletes are there for the college?
Yeah, it's a great point.
I mean,
it's a great point. Because, they're going to be illiterate, most of them. And
they have, like, special classes for them and special tutoring.
Illiterate.
And, like, they still get out and don't know anything.
Yeah.
I mean, like, which is fine. But the whole thing is make-believe.
Yes.
That these are, like, the students who just naturally were going to this school and they just came together and made a football team. It's, like, not what happened.
No.
They're, semi-professional, essentially.
Right.
They really are professional sports.
Well, right. And these teams are profit centers between the teams and fundraising. And that's what you've got to do. These teams are the equivalent of the college presidents.
Mm-hmm. But that's why I say, like, American college is a lot. It's trying to fulfill a lot of roles in our society, right? It's like age is the thing that young people all do socially at that age. Mm-hmm. Like half of all young people, certainly almost all of them from leafy suburbs, all go there, right?
You said a few minutes ago, my math teacher said that we should have advanced math classes earlier.
Yeah. Yeah. Our daughter just came in and said there should be advanced math classes earlier. For some kids, there should be more advanced math classes earlier, certainly. And a lot of schools are moving in the opposite direction.
I would not have wanted advanced math classes earlier.
No, you would not have. But because they're trying to keep all the kids at the same level longer without separating them out into different levels, it means they're lowering the standard for everybody. And one major reason we could never do in the U.S. what we do in Europe and just have people test into high schools and, like you're going to the Polytechnic high school, and that is because we would have like huge racial and gender inequities that American society would not tolerate.
So we got to fudge it and just blast everybody out there.
Yeah, we got to put everybody through the same high school and pretend that we can get everybody to the same level. But we have an attitude in our society that there's like some sort of like blank slateism, right? That like if everybody's getting just as good a high school education, then everybody will end up equal.
Right, which is not.
And it doesn't work that way. And if you set up your society trying to achieve that result, you are going to make some of the kids worse off. Actually, probably all the kids worse off. You're probably not doing any favors to the kids that you're trying to help by doing that either.
Yes. So let's get to some other stuff here. At the end of the day, let's start with last night.
Let's start with Isabella.
No.
Oh, I thought we were going to talk, because that story's blown up today.
Yes, but we're going to talk about some, the polar opposite end of my Isabella scenario. Is why are all the New Year's Eve specials just like gay bars now?
There was a lot. It seemed like for people who are a small percentage of the population, gay men were overrepresented on New Year's Eve coverage last
This
night.
is CNN with Anderson Cooper and Andy Cohen and two other gay guys talking. Hold on.
It's the night is young in New York City. Where are you two queens? CNN, sweetie.
Ass up, he said.
It's the night is young in New
It's where are you two queens going?
York. He won't be good on your podcast. I would totally not.
Whatever. Like what is it? I'm just sick of it. I'm just sick of, oh my God, over the top gay guy repartee. You shouldn't say the forbidden thing. This is CNN. Oh my goodness. I'm sick. I'm only sick of it because I've been witnessing this, and I used to work in hospitality, and before that I worked on a cruise ship with a bunch of dancers, etc. And I see a lot of the same act. This no, you didn't. Whatever, over the top.
Well, and Fox had their camera on two dudes kissing at midnight.
Right.
That
Well,
was it. Was like all.
But I want to say something because I'm not singling out gay people here, because it's also the same thing with like bro dudes. And there's a way that we were talking about the other day that every like bro dude, and these are usually white middle class dude, college age, dresses exactly the same. And when I was a kid, all these dudes dressed exactly the same, but wearing Abercrombie shirts and well curved baseball hats. And there are personality types out there. I've also dealt with the brooding writer type, and the girl who's trying to be as cool as the guy type, smoking a cigar. I'm not. And believe me, I'm mostly disgusted by the Tom Shattuck type. Believe me. But I'm 50 now, so it has been more than 30 years now where I've seen all these types. And you guys have too. And what I resent is, like, why would you want to be like everybody else? Mm-hmm. Why would you want to be like everybody? You know what? I've got 6 people I can choose to be like. I'm going to be like this. I'm going to be like this guy saying, oh, it's ass up tonight. Oh, my goodness. Wow. You're the over-the-top queen guy who's just saying the daring, naughty thing on the off chance that you hook up tonight as a gay man, where I assume the possibilities are around 100%. But oh, my God, you invented being over-the-top and promiscuous. My goodness. Just sick of all of these types. It's straight, it's gay, now, okay. Now we've got a whole new universe of types, of course, but I'm done. I mean, I think this is, and they all think that they're this is, and I hope that when I was 21, I wasn't like this. You're not the first one of you.
It's true.
There are many, many of you. I think it's a good. You've worked in retail. I worked at front desk hotels. The new kid starts. Usually you have the worst kinds are the ones who just graduated from hospitality school and hotel management. Mm-hmm. And they're going to revolutionize the way you process guests. And for the first 2 weeks, they're like over the top, connecting and kind, and walking around from the front desk, and getting on one knee when the couple's child is there, and whatever, connecting to them. A month into it, they are shell-shocked. That is gone. And it's like, we used to see it like every time we'd hire a new bunch of front desk people. It's like, you're going to be emotionally destroyed. Don't say funny stuff. Just because the doorman here is from Jamaica, don't use a Jamaican accent and try to bond. Nothing you're doing is new. You're just like the last batch. Mm-hmm. And the batch before them, and they all come in, and they're all emotionally in tatters. Very soon, realizing that they owe Boston University $160,000 for something that they are never going to ever do again because it's been absolute hell. What was I thinking? I'm just saying, don't be like everybody else. I think
right.
Don't be like everybody else. That's another reason why I hated high school. Everybody was being like everybody else. I would have, like, some dude would say something to me and then like razz me or something, and then like only when nobody else was looking would like actually be seeking advice from me or something like that. I'm saying, wait, so you're so afraid of your classmates, these idiots, that you're only going to confide in me like in a civilized fashion as long as they don't see it. Like you really are in jail. It's amazing. Don't be like everybody else. That's all I'd say. So I don't like these guys. I do like my friend Isabella. I'll let you catch people up to Isabella. We talked about her yesterday. She's a girl who dared to have big breasts while cooking, who Alice tore asunder.
I did not tear anybody asunder.
Because Alice is saying that so she's supposed to cook and not show her best physical attribute, which in her case are her breasts. So now I'm going to lecture you because I've brought in. She's gotten Aubrey Huff's Twitter canceled. He deleted his Twitter because he was hitting on her like Christmas Day. She's going scorched earth because people are angry at her for showing her breasts off and daring to cook because you can't have nice breasts when you cook. That's what Alice says.
That's not.
So,
I didn't say that.
By the way, so I'm going to. You don't have to take it from me. I'm going to use the voice of a good friend of mine on Twitter, a female called the Redheaded Libertarian. She says, let's talk about boobs. Women have them. Some women have bigger boobs than other women. Now let's imagine two attractive women with small frames. One is an A cup, one is a D cup. These women have two choices, to wear form-fitting clothes or to wear loose-fitting clothes. The woman with the smaller boobs will likely look cute in anything, as she is objectively proportionate. But women with the bigger boobs will be called fat in loose clothes because they box her curves and whore in tight clothes. I'm not sure.
They'll call her fat in loose clothes and a whore in tight
clothes because they accentuate her curves. This is a reflection of conventional body standards as they pertain to beautiful women. She's like, what is this girl supposed to do?
Do we not? It's not about what is she supposed to do. Okay, this is exactly what bothers me about this is because it's disingenuous, right? Like people have different sized boobs while cooking, and that's A-okay. This is about like the framing and everything and the choice of how to set up this shot. It's very clear that she's doing it to be hot while cooking.
So you can't be hot while cooking.
No, it's just that that's the emphasis of the video, clearly.
Well, can we say...
Do you even know what she cooked?
No, I've seen it, some kind of dessert. I watched her breasts the entire time, Alice.
I know, and part of that is because of the way the video is set up. It's not incidental to the video.
But I have a question for you.
Mm-hmm.
That's her best attribute is her chest. So why not showcase them? And because wouldn't you try to be your most attractive? What's wrong? Why can't she? Oh, I'm not allowed to be that attractive. I'm cooking dessert. Why not?
It's not. And, this is what we talked about on your radio show when I came on with you today, too, is it's not necessarily that it's on a continuum, right, of things. But she's trying to be like an online influencer. And the type of online influencer she's trying to be is going to make money off the fact that Tom Shattuck is watching her breasts, yes?
Well, she's not going to make money off of me, I don't think.
Yeah, she is.
Well, I just watched the video that was like served to me from somewhere. Somebody had mentioned it.
Yeah, and then on Twitter, what happens when you have lots of impressions on your tweets?
Do you make money?
Yeah.
You do?
Yes.
I didn't know this.
Because ads and stuff show up in your replies and everything. It's all like...
Oh.
Yeah. So that's why people post stupid engagement bait on Twitter. Is because the more impressions and replies stuff has, the more money people make off of it, right? And
but Alice, it's also a lovely piece of content. The music is good. Upon revisiting, the food looked good. She looked good. It was like a nice experience.
Okay, sure.
Now you've got 53-year-old men yelling at her, calling her a 304. which
we didn't know.
Yeah,
this must be old slang, though, because this is based on what shows up when you type it into a calculator and turn it upside down, like people used to type 8008.
Yeah. A 304 is a hoe.
Right.
H-O-E. So that's what she's being called, a 304, a hoe, which I don't know that she is. I think she says she wants to have lots of babies and this and that, but she's not. I don't know why. I gotta think that this thing is so popular because she looks so good.
I mean, it's really calendar gate again, right? Like and it's once again, it's part of it is because she's claiming to be a conservative trad wife influencer, right? It's like, oh, I just want to stay home and cook and have lots of babies. And as a caller today pointed out, looking like she does and being 23, if it's really your goal to be a stay-at-home mom, that's not like for an attractive 23-year-old, like an impossible hill to climb.
But she wasn't wearing garter belts and S&M stuff.
No. And so that's why I say it's on a continuum. She doesn't have an OnlyFans, but she's on the internet making money because people like to look at her boobs. Right? And so I say this is what it is, a continuum, right? Part of the reason why Candace Owens is popular, obviously not the only reason, is because she is lovely to look at while she says things that people agree with.
Yeah.
Right? And so this girl's lovely to look at while making a cake. And maybe it's a little bit more sultry than Candace Owens usually is in her videos, but it's on a spectrum with that. And it's a step further down the spectrum towards the OnlyFans videos, but it's not there.
It wasn't even showing cleavage.
No, it wasn't showing cleavage, but you got a very good idea of the outline of her body.
And why would a husband who wanted to settle down with a woman, not a potential husband, not think that's great?
But this is influencer content. She's being an influencer, talking about becoming a trad wife and having lots of kids and marriage and stuff, and, you know, making this content. She's making money off that. You know what I'm saying? Like, she's selling a lifestyle that she's not actually living.
Well, not yet. She wants to live it.
Well, I mean, maybe. I got married and had a kid at 23. It's not, like, impossible to do.
But not only that, but she also, technically, she's selling a package. If that's supposed to be for men, she's selling, one, I can cook delicious stuff for you while these mammaries are making their way around the kitchen. I think that's a pretty good sales pitch.
Well, yeah, but the point is that she's not really trying to settle down.
How do you know?
Because if she wanted to settle down, she could settle down.
We don't know how her dating experience is.
Well, no, but the point is that she's not making that video to find a husband.
How do you know?
Because she's making money from the video.
Well, she's certainly going to.
Do people make OnlyFans videos to find a husband?
I don't know, but it probably. I don't know, like what the extremes are
why
on
not?
OnlyFans.
Yeah, there's a big range of stuff people put on OnlyFans, from clothed pictures to bikini pictures to like full-on actual pornography, like video with other people. But that's. She's making content that she's making money off of to make the content. Like, she could just, have a normal job and then
it's one video.
Like, join a dating app.
She's got lots of videos and lots of stuff. She doesn't. I was scrolling through today and I did not see. And maybe it's back there. I did not see any other cooking. This is. I assume that she was going to do a cooking video and then saw an angle and said, "Wait a second, I got something happening here." But she hasn't followed it up. She said she was going to follow it up, but either way,
I mean, it's the same debate as the calendar
but
debate, right?
These Republicans look like jerks for attacking her.
Well, sure, and I don't think people should attack her, especially because I think virtually every female influencer in conservative world is an attractive female who would not be where she is if she weren't attractive.
I think there are some exceptions, but I think that
for the most part, being attractive and is a help in the conservative influencer universe.
Oh, definitely.
And most of them who are doing well are trading on that.
To some degree or another.
Right.
Sure.
So that's what I'm saying. It's like everybody's on the spectrum of doing that.
But there's a double standard.
Degree.
Nobody's. Michael Knowles has no pressure to be the most handsome man in the world. He's a fine enough looking guy, I guess. But like there's men do not have the same pressure.
Oh yeah, and like I told you, like Rush Limbaugh is not getting by on his looks.
Right.
To the same degree that Dana Lash is.
No doubt about that.
You know, it's
he's
just,
a little different. He's the greatest at it.
No, I
of
know,
all
but
time.
but he's also a good example because Michael Knowles is an example, but Michael Knowles is a fairly good-looking guy.
Yeah.
So,
but not necessarily so. I don't think everybody is for the Matt Walsh look. I think you might be, but I don't think everybody is as well. I think that like or Ben Shapiro. I guess they're all handsome. I don't know. Can we objectify the women, please?
I mean, my point is I think that's a reality of the way people react to male and female public figures.
Yeah.
And that to any degree, any woman who's doing anything publicly is, you know, to some degree or another trading on that standard. So to say that, you know, conservatives shouldn't be like trading on their looks, as conservative women shouldn't be out there trading on their looks as women, or that it's immodest. And there's a lot of debate about what constitutes modesty, right? Like you said, you know, she doesn't even have that much cleavage, which is true, certainly, but it's not necessarily about coverage too. Like certain clothing just accentuates different things, right?
Yeah.
So, you know, modesty is a debate. I think one of the things that's really tricky about modesty is that while virtually every culture on earth has like agreed to some degree that women should follow some standard of modesty, and men too, in most cases, what exactly is meant by modesty is super, super cultural, right? Like what somebody wears in an African tribe would be considered very immodest to like somebody in Victorian England.
Oh, yes.
You know, but it's not considered immodest to the African tribe. It's not that they don't think women should have a modesty standard. It's just that their standard of what women should dress like and what they're used to seeing is very different.
Yes.
Right? But they do still feel that women should be modest. And they're not, no one would argue that they're not patriarchal or don't objectify women, right? In like a tribe. But there's certainly, there's a lot of range culturally for what's modest and what's not. And we live in a society where we are used to seeing so much of women.
Yes.
You know, like we routinely, virtually every celebrity, you can find like bikini pictures of them and stuff.
Well, a lot of times that's not their own fault, but yes.
Well, no, I mean, not their own fault, but I mean, like, I don't really wear bikinis.
I guess you don't.
I mean,
you were headed for one this summer before we.
Okay, but I'm saying like I don't, and I think a lot of like moms who dress modestly like do not just routinely wear around bikinis, right? But like virtually every celebrity, you can find pictures of them in swimwear, right? Like we live in a society where we see people dressed very what by most social standards would be considered very immodest, like a lot of the time. And when you see like fitness influencers, the clothes that the fitness influencers are wearing when they're working out, like I would not go outside in.
Well,
right? But like that's also very standard for how influencers and stuff dress.
Well, yeah, true. It is remarkable.
So it's a very weird cultural minefield, the women's clothing modesty discussion, because it is so subjective and there's such a different understanding of what's modest for different people and in different contexts.
Yes. Agreed. Alice, I hate to tell you, we got to get back to the construction. I know there's a couple other things you wanted to hit, but I think we've got to go.
Yeah, so we do have a couple chat messages, yes?
We do. Billboard, Albie.
This is, of course, brought to us by Chelsea Fire Wicked Hot Sauce on the Chelsea Fire Wicked hotline.
Hey, sorry you didn't care for my music. I thought it was kind of fun and whatnot, but, you know, it's not for everybody.
Well, it was kind of fun, but it was also kind of long, and I felt that sometimes smaller portions more accentuate the power of your art.
Good point. True.
Is this the banana lady with the bananas in her hair?
I don't know.
Is that what that is? I'm not really sure. Is this Helen Reddy? I am not sure. I am not sure exactly what all that was. Alice, hope you're ready. Construction time.
Yep, gotta go do more construction. I'm sure Tom will post some more pictures on social media as we work our way through that. Once again, if you want to join us in the live chat and for the live stream of the show, you can do that at patreon.com/burnbarrel. We also put a little extra content up each week if you're interested in joining that. You can also always find the show for free wherever you like to listen to podcasts. There's links at burnbarrelpodcast.com.
C'est la vie.